rise to dwell on the supplementary demands for a grant 2022-23. The first batch of supplementary demands for grants for the 22-23 includes 75 grants and 6 appropriations. Approvals of the Parliament is sought to authorize gross additional expenditure of 4,35,938.87 crore. Sir, net cash outgo, which is estimated 3,25,756.69 crore. Additional expenditure matched by savings, enhanced receipts, recoveries, rupees 1.10180.59 crore. Token provision for reappropriation of savings, rupees 1.159 lakh. Original budget 22-23 expenditure allocation was 39,44909 crore. Additional net expenditure allocation 325,756.69 crore. Total revised budget expenditure allocation now 42,70,665.69 crore. Insofar as chemical and fertilizer is concerned, original grant in budget 22-23 was 109,242.23 crore. Now, original plus supplementary comes to 218,531.18 crore. Revised estimates in budget 21-22 was 141,735 crore. Despite announcing an additional subsidy of rupees 14,775 in May 21 and rupees 6,553 crore in October 2021 for non-urea fertilizers, experts predicted a shortfall of 30,000 crore, with urea shortage being the most predominant. Sir, the fact is that we are focusing only on urea and DAP, but other fertilizers also should be given due priority, because experts always opine that a balanced application of fertilizer will yield more crop. So I would request the ministry to ponder over this issue also. The rise of fertilizer prices will certainly increase the input costs, affecting the income of farmers, which has been declining under this government. As per the NSO-SAA survey 2021, real income from cultivation increased by 8.9% between 2013 and 2018-2019. Sir, again, insofar as food and public distribution is concerned, original grant in budget 22-23 was 225,959.58 crores. Now supplementary DFG rupees 8383.31 crore. Now total original plus supplementary, including rupees 307.89 crore. Revised estimates in budget 2021-22 was 302,000 crore. In this regard, I would like to know from the Honorable Minister whether the Pradhan Mantri Garib Kalyan Yojana will be extended beyond December, because you are well aware that the purchasing power of the common people has not been improved in spite of all the measures being taken by this government. So in view of this declining purchasing power of the poor people across the country, this program could be extended. I do not know what is the plan of this government, but I must propose the extension of this program beyond December. Second, National Food Security Act 2013 required that the subsidy cover 75% of the rural population and 50% of the urban population. At present, 81 crore persons are covered under the Act. So, insofar as rural development aspect is concerned, original grant in budget 22-23 was 135,944.29 crore. Supplementary DFG rupees 45,174.47 crore. Now total original plus supplementary rupees 118.76 crore. So I do not want to harp on the issues being raised by my esteemed predecessors, but in this regard, I would like to simply draw the attention of the minister that the allocation for this scheme Manrega is 73,000 crore, 35% lower than last year's revised estimates, which includes the 40,000 crore allocation of the PM Cares Fund. मैडम, सदन के अंदर सत्ता पक्ष के नुमाइंदे कहते हैं कि मनरेगा बंद करना चाहिए, कभी हमारे प्रधानमंत्री भी कहते हैं कि ये धरोहर है कांग्रेस और यूपीए जमाने की जो नाकामी का, ये धरोहर को बचाए रखना चाहिए। फिर जब कोविड आते हैं तब बड़े जोर शोर ये कहा जाता है कोविड के समय वो बुरी हालत से बचाने के लिए आम लोगों को मैंने मनरेगा में बहुत सारे पैसा दिए। तो सरकार की एक एक रुख, एक एक रवैया ऐसा क्यों होता है? क्यों सरकार की तरफ से मंत्री हो या नुमाइंदे हो, क्यों ना एक स्वर में मनरेगा की जो लाभ होते हैं, ये मनरेगा की लाभ के बारे में क्यों नहीं स्पष्टीकरण किए जाते हैं, वो बिना किसी रोक टोक के? ये मेरा जरूर एक सवाल है। In so far as revenue is concerned, original grant in budget 22-23 rupees 227,552.52 crore, supplementary rupees 19,728.49 crores, total, original plus supplementary 247,281.01 crore. In June 2020, reports indicated that the central government informed the Parliamentary Standing Committee on Finance that it did not have the funds required to honor its statutory commitment to state to provide them GST compensation. Even Attorney General K.K. Venugopal reportedly opined that the central government was not obligated to pay the GST compensation shortfall and that states should borrow from the market against future compensation received. During the 47th GST Council meet held on June 29, 2022, the government decided to hike GST rates for essential items effective from July 18, 2022. This move has been met with much contention owing to already increasing prices of essential items and uncontrollable inflation. Union Finance Minister Mrs. Sitharaman insisted that this GST hike was decided upon only after approval from all states. That claim has been denied by Finance Minister of respective state. You are on your own way imposing cess and surcharges, and on the other hand, you are not meeting the promises that you have been given on the floor of the House to those individual states. So certainly sometime it is appearing that you are breaching your commitment that was given by, legal mechanism to the state government across the country. Madam, I would like to flag this attention that fiscal deficit, so far as fiscal deficit is concerned, India's tax revenue collection are likely to be higher than budget estimate by rupees 2 or 2.5 lakh crore. In spite of that, the fiscal deficit is likely to overshoot the government's target of 6.4% of GDP by rupees 0.8 to 1 lakh crore. You are in a position to elucidate on this aspect. But what is observing by us that you are yourself having in a triple whammy. On the one hand, current account deficit, on the other hand, fiscal deficit, and third, trade deficit. I don't know how you will be reconciling the fiscal deficit with the growth of the economy, as has been committed by this government. Second thing, supplementary demand for grants of this scale indicate a gross miscalculation on the part of the government on expected expenditure. It also undermines parliamentary control by going above and beyond what had initially been sanctioned. Insofar as fertilizer is concerned, I have already indicated that the NPK ratio refers to the proportion of volume of nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium in fertilizer. The ideal average NPK ratio is 4:2:1, but the ratio increased to 7.7:3.1:1 in 2021-22. The ratio was 6.8 is to 2.7 is to 1 during Kharif 21, which got further distorted to 12.8 is to 5.1 is to 1 during Kharif 2020. While farmers tend to use fertilizer in a balanced ratio, changes in prices due to policy changes end up upsetting the balance. So there may be the distortion of the balance that I have flagged your attention. Again, fertilizer shortages is concerned. Indian government insists that there is no fertilizer shortage in the country, but there is a sufficient stock to fulfill existing demand. Yet farmers across the country have been facing shortages of fertilizer for both Rabi and Kharif sowing seasons, including Rajasthan, Arjun Meghwal ji state hai, Himachal Pradesh, Madhya Pradesh, Haryana, Odisha, Tamil Nadu. The increase in fertilizer prices was partly responsible for 27% drop in paddy sowing during Kharif this year. The government is meanwhile on the path of disinvesting or shutting down early PSUs in fertilizer sector. On the other hand, the import of DAP and NP, NPK complex fertilizer increased year on year by 45.2% and 76.1% respectively in April, October 2022. There is a slogan being propagated that one nation, one fertilizer, which was launched in September 2022. But that goes against that standing committee recommendation. The committee remarked that the farmer should have the choice to buy fertilizer from different brands. The only way to ensure efficient use of subsidy is by directing it to the farmer's account. However, under the One Nation, One Fertilizer scheme, all fertilizers are supposed to be sold under the Bharat brand name. This will lead to power margins for manufacturers and leave them with no incentive to increase production of quality fertilizers. In order to increase their brand loyalty, the manufacturers will now need to focus on marketing processes instead of focusing attention on upgrading systems. Now, another issue. No update to the list of beneficiaries under NFSA, National Food Security Act. Section 9 of the Central Food Security Act 2013 requires that the list of beneficiaries be updated on the basis of the latest census data. With the delay in the 2021 census, the list of beneficiaries under the scheme is outdated by 11 years. If the list of beneficiaries were to be adjusted as per the directive of the Supreme Court, there would be an increase of 10 crore more beneficiaries under the scheme. So I think the government should take into account the concern of the people and also the observation made by the Supreme Court. Madam, what is very, intriguing to me and what is concerning to all sections of our population is that the Reserve Bank of India increased the repo rate for the 5th time in financial year 23 in an attempt to tackle inflation. Always to tackle inflation, you are resorting to increasing the repo rate. Why? Why this kind of mechanism being adopted by you? On December 7th, 2022, the RBI increases monetary repo rate to 6.2%, a 35 basis point hike from 5.9%. The repo or policy rate is at its highest level since August 2018. The 6-member Monetary Policy Committee arrived at this conclusion after an assessment of the evolving macroeconomic situation unfolding in the country. In September 2020, the central bank had increased the repo rate by 50 basis points to 5.9%. मैं आप सदन के जो सत्ता पक्ष के एमपीज हैं, मैं उनको पूछना चाहते हैं कि रेपो रेट बढ़ाने के चलते क्या आम लोगों को परेशानियां बढ़ते हैं या कमते हैं? आप खुद बताओ। मैं बताना चाहते हैं, मैं विस्तार से नहीं जाना चाहते, मैं सिर्फ मोटे-मोटे मुद्दे 4-5 मुद्दे रखना चाहते हैं कि it is impacted where this kind of increasing repo rate will have impacted. First impact on borrowers. Second impact on EMI. Impact on existing EMI. Impact on housing markets. Impact of rate hike on equity investors. Impact on mutual fund. इतने सारे इम्पैक्ट होने के बाद आपको क्या ये नहीं लगता कि हमारे ये जो रेपो रेट इस तरीके से धड़ल्ले से वृद्धि किया जा रहे हैं, इसका बुरी असर हमारे इकोनॉमी में होगी? आम लोग यहाँ परेशानी को झेलना पड़ेगा, तो हमारे ये अर्थनीति का क्या मूल्य रहते हैं? आप जाओ मिडिल क्लास, लोअर मिडिल क्लास, जिसके पास जाओ, छोटे मध्यम लघु उद्यमी जिसके पास जाओ, ये रेपो रेट के चलते इनकी आर्थिक तंगी बढ़ रहे हैं। मैं आप सर्वे करके देखो, मेरे बात पे भरोसा ना करके आप सर्वे करके देखो। Sir, price of essential commodities have been constantly rising. Essential food items have been getting more expensive for a long time under this government. The main drivers of inflation have been prices of food, fuel, clothing, and education. I think in earlier occasion also, we have pointed out whether our economy has been undergoing stagflation. I think our economy is on the cusp of a stagflation. Economy is stagnant. Inflation has been growing. Unemployment is not visible. So certainly, we are witnessing the morass of financial plight of the entire country. Annual rate of wholesale inflation was at 12.41% in August 2022 and 10.7% in September 2022, compared to a 30-year high of 15.08% in April 2022. While this is maybe a relief to many, but states like Kerala are still reeling from the effects of price hikes. Retail inflation in India September 22 hit a 5-month high at 7.41%. The figure crossed the Reserve Bank of India's upper limit of 6% for the 9th month. Inflation in October 2020 still above RBI's limit of 6.77%. Headline inflation is forecasted to be 6.4% in 22-23, while the inflation rate has peaked. The Indian economy is expected to take 2 to 3 years to return to an inflation rate of 4%. This implies that the RBI will continue to maintain higher interest rates over the next 5 years, which are critical in kick-starting economic growth required to move away from the pandemic slump. Madam, already, media people have been highlighting that industrial output as measured by the Index of Industrial Production slump to a 26-month low of -4% in October on the back of a contraction in manufacturing and consumer goods. NSO data, according to NSO data, it indicating weak exports and sluggish consumption demand alongside the continuing weakness of small and medium enterprises. We are eager to know as to why the central bank could not keep inflation within the targeted 6% upper limit for the 3 consecutive quarters. Madam, आज भी हम ये सुनने को मिला है कि हमारे चीन के साथ टकराव हो रहा है। मैं उस विषय पे जाना नहीं चाहते, सेंसिटिव मुद्दा नहीं जाना चाहते, मैं नहीं जाना चाहता। मैं सिर्फ ये कहना चाहते हैं हिंदुस्तान में 3560 ऐसा कंपनी है जहां का डायरेक्टर चीनी कैसे हो सकता है?
अधीर रंजन जी, चेयर को एड्रेस करो। आप चेयर को एड्रेस
नहीं,
चेयर को एड्रेस करो।
सर, मैं ये इस मुद्दे के अंदर नहीं जाना चाहते। मैं ये कहना चाहते कि 3560 हिंदुस्तान की कंपनियों ने जहां चीनी डायरेक्टर कैसे बन गया, चीन का साथ हमारा ट्रेड किस तरह है, हमारा एक्सपोर्ट इंपोर्ट ट्रेड बैलेंस चीन के साथ किस स्तर पे है। मैडम, थोड़ा सदन को जानकारी दिया करो। मैं और भी एक बात करना कि इत्तेफाक से इस साल नोटबंदी की 6ठी साल हो रहे हैं। नोटबंदी की 6ठी साल, ये डिमोनेटाइजेशन कहूं या डिमोनाइजेशन ऑफ इकोनॉमी कहूं, ये मुझे सोचना पड़ेगा। डिमोनाइजेशन और डिमोनेटाइजेशन क्या है ये? 2016 में 8 November at 8 PM a organized loot of this country took place. Cash in circulation at that time was 7.6 lakh crore. Now it has been increased to 30.88 lakh crore. That means 72% high. Whether it was committed at the time that we are moving towards digital economy, black money will be wiped out, terrorists will be finished, and fake currency will have been done away with. My single query to you, whether the objectives of demonetization have been achieved or not. Because as per your RBI report, it is palpably clear that not a single objective, as was enunciated during the demonetization, has not been achieved so far. See, Swiss Bank in its report stated that in the last 14 years, हिंदुस्तान में सबसे ज्यादा स्विस बैंक में हिंदुस्तानी के लोगों को पैसा जमा किया है। इसका कितना राशि? 30,500 करोड़। आप कहते हैं कि भ्रष्टाचार को दूरीकरण करने के लिए डिमोनेटाइजेशन की जरूरत थी, ठीक है। ये करप्शन इंडेक्स क्या है हिंदुस्तान की? 79 थे, अभी 85 चले गए। ये हमारी नहीं, ट्रांसपेरेंसी इंटरनेशनल की रिपोर्ट है। फेक करेंसी, और सुन लीजिए, फेक करेंसी 500 डिनोमिनेशन की जो फेक करेंसी 102%।
216
Yes, please wait.
216 कहता है कि द डिबेट ऑन द सप्लीमेंट्री ग्रांट्स shall be confined to the items constituting the same and no discussion